Zdrojewski. All right, I hope I got that right. Hey there, beer tubers. Welcome back to Beer Analysis 101, the last episode of Beer Analysis 101 on the original Google Hangouts, because fuck you, Google, you're taking this shit offline. I want my Google Hangouts back, damn it, already. Tonight, we are doing a beer that comes all the way from Poland. I don't know any Polish people around here, do you? We're going to do Żywiec.
Yeah.
A pale lager, of course, from Żywiec in Poland. But before we get down to the history on this thing, let's introduce the panel, starting with Mr. Ashley Sexton of Sexton Brewing Co. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you. How are you?
Doing all right, considering.
Considering what?
I don't know. I'm just
Something bad happened?
It's rhetorical.
Something good happened? Just living life?
Yeah, living. Yeah, sure.
Live it to the fullest, my friend.
Considering that, I've got this pop-up notification saying this Hangout on air is live. Hangouts on air is going away August 1st, which is tomorrow. Quick streaming, try youtube.com/webcam, which sucks balls because you can't have more than one person on it. That's my problem. All right. Now that we've heard my rant in place of Ashley's rant, let's go over to Redbeard, who we're glad was here with us tonight. How you doing, Redbeard?
I am well. Thanks for having me. Cheers, everybody.
No problem. And, of course, cheers also to Mr. Craig of Kent Beer Reviews, who's stayed up late, so we can have a late start on this. I'll explain why in a moment. How you doing tonight, Craig?
Yeah, good. It's just nice to get a can of this for a change. I don't know.
You ever had it? Well, we can get into history, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. But yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem. Anytime, man. And also, we have another person who hasn't been with us for a while, but we're always glad he's here. We're always glad you came. Just start cueing the Cheers theme song. Mr. Guy Lachance of Drinking in Canada. How you doing tonight? Yeah.
That's good.
Das is good, yeah?
I was surprised I found this locally. So this is from Castleman, Ontario, the LCBO. So this is probably the oldest bottle in the panel. I'm betting. I'm betting this is the oldest bottle on the panel.
we haven't gotten a ban yet, so
17/12/2019. We'll see.
Oh shit! The Beer Patrol. Joe didn't show up tonight. Damn Polacks. All right. Anyway, speaking of Polish, we got Mr. Chris Lizak of Off the 10th. Chris Lizak Photography. How you doing tonight, Chris?
Jestem dobry, jak się masz? Dobrze? Ja. Moje na imię Krzysiek.
Dobrze.
Tak.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. Take your word for it. Hey, and we also have Dan coming in from Brews Reviews. The first time being on Beer Analysis 101, and just in time to catch the original Hangouts going away.
Probably the last one. No, wait, hang on.
Yeah, right. That's why one reason we had a big late start tonight, but we're glad you came.
Well, not bad, not bad. I'm a little scared, but not bad. I mean, you guys have these wonderful dates on them. I've got LO128616B1704. So, yeah, I might have the oldest bottle.
God knows what that even means.
Oh, shit.
I mean, at least mine's got a real date code of like 2020 or best before date, but I don't even know what yours actually says.
I tried looking it up. I don't even know either.
It's funny we're concerned about bottle on dates for a European lager. Anyway, so speaking of Polish, we have Mr. Greg Bielowski. How you doing tonight, Greg?
O, jak się masz, panie Kleslo? Jak się masz? Jak jest twoje duże chuj? Czy jest duże dzisiaj?
I had a feeling this was going to happen tonight.
On ma taki strasznie duży chuj.
I can't say that word.
Ja ci dam.
I can try and translate.
Jak on ma dziewczynę, krew zaleje.
Can you do it in real time?
Oh, craft SLA.
Dużo krew.
Craft SLA.
Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry.
Dobry.
All right, so with that introductions over and my face turning red, let's go over to the beer history of Żywiec Lager. The story of Żywiec begins in 1852 in the town of Żywiec in the Austrian-Hungarian Empire, part of today's Poland. Much of the town of Żywiec was owned by the House of Habsburg, and the brewery was founded by Archduke Albrecht Albert, better known as Albert Habsburg, grandson of the Holy Roman Emperor Leopold II. Construction began on the Archduke's brewery in 1852, and the brewery was officially founded in 1856. Amongst the beers brewed by the brewery was a light lager called Zdrój Żywiecki. The brewery remained in the family, first passing after his death in 1895 to his nephew, Archduke Karl Stefan, who ran the brewery for 38 years. After Karl Stefan's death in 1933, the brewery and the castle that contained it was passed to his son, Archduke Karl Albrecht. At the outbreak of the Second World War, during the invasion of Poland, Archduke Karl Albrecht refused to cooperate with the Nazis, and as a result was arrested and his property seized. The brewery was then controlled by German commissars, who changed the name to Biskindenbrauerei Seibusch, which is the German name for Żywiec, but left the original Polish recipes intact. After the war, the region found itself deep within Soviet-controlled territory and eventually became part of the Eastern Bloc Polish People's Republic in 1947. During the communist era, the brewery became a state-owned establishment after May 1945 and renamed to the Żywiec Brewery. Brewski. It could be Brewski. The brewery was modernized and had double production by 1953. 1955, the brewery prepared an export version of Zdrój Żywiecki called simply Żywiec, featuring a dancing couple wearing the traditional Krakow dress, so the traditional Krakow dance, big part of Poland, I guess, and began export to outside markets.
Krakow.
Yeah, that's right. The W's a V, sorry. Began exports outside markets such as the United States. Following the end of communism, the brewery became the sole shareholder company owned by the state treasury on December 31st, 1990, and was listed on the Warsaw Stock Exchange on September of 1991. By July 1992, 70% of shares had been sold to the public, making the brewery a privately owned operation. In 1994, a controlling interest was purchased by Heineken, which still is the main shareholder today. A museum dedicated to the history of the brewery was opened in Żywiec in 2006. So, other beers include Żywiec Full Light, which is their light lager, their Jasny Pelani, something like that. They have a porter, they have a Bock, they have a Markowy, which is their Marzen. They have Bialy, which is their wit beer. They have an APA and a Saison. So tonight's beer, Żywiec Lager, is a 5.6, I believe, 5.5 on my can. Pale lager that was brewed with only 3 ingredients: malted barley, hops, and crystal clear mountain water. Yay. All right, let's get down to the histories. Ashley Sexton, I know you have a history with this beer because you drank the can I gave you.
That's right, I did. Can't remember it.
Is that the only time you've had it?
Yeah, I think it was. But you know what? I see it so often that I think it was like one of those beers that I thought I'd probably had at some point in time because it's just always so readily available. But you know, like a sober thought, you know, I don't think I've ever had it. Outside of the can I drank probably way too late on a hangout one night. And I'm actually, so I have zero history on this, but I'm very impressed that they managed to brew this using 3 ingredients instead of 4. And somehow,
I think it actually does use yeast somehow.
somehow.
It's just I went by the marketing bullshit that's on their website. So it's
it's even on the back of their bottle, using 3 ingredients. So whatever.
Wow, pretty good hit retention.
Anyway, so yeah, I got no history other than the one drunken time I drank it, and I can't remember. So
nice.
Yeah. Don't drink, kids.
Right. All right. Don't get too drunk and high like Ashley Sexton did. Forget what he thought about a certain beer. So, Mr. Redbeard, what's your history with Żywiec?
Never had it before, probably never having it again. I'm kind of impressed by the Coors Light-esque crown thing they have on the can. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, I noticed that. It does. It has this crown that turns blue or something when it warms up. Best at temperature 6 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Mine was blue. It was good serving temperature.
Yeah.
Right. All right. And Craig, what's your history with this?
Oh. Craig.
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 Craig. Did he freeze while picking his nose?
He was muted.
Now he looks like he's taking a shit.
Oh.
First time since using Untapped, which was April 2014. May of. Yeah, it is what it is.
You're coming in really choppy, dude.
Yeah. There you go. One for Flickr, I guess. It's first time probably ever, to be honest. So it's been readily available for quite a long time. So it's choppy. Really?
Yeah.
Use the chat.
Can't hear me.
Use Morse code.
A long delay too.
No?
Yeah, it's like
Can you hear me?
I can sort of hear you, but you're getting a lot of lag. Anyway, but yeah, I suppose you've had it regularly available to you, but it's just sort of not really been interesting, I take it. So we never tried it. Just guessing. All right, maybe we'll move over to Guy and see if Craig can get his issues figured out here. All right, Guy, what's your history with Żywiec?
I found it. I had it in January 13th, 2013. That's a review that cousin Pat had it once. I think I gave it a 7.5 back then.
Wow.
That's it. So now we're going to see how it holds up. Is it going to be 7.5 again?
Maybe.
Everybody's so excited. I bet it's going to be like a 9, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. There's a coconut.
It's a motherfucking 10. All right. Chris, in English,
So,
what's your history with this beer?
ja lubię tego piwo. To piwo jest bardzo, jak się mówię, ja lubię to piwo. Tak,
Myślisz, jest dobre.
tak.
O, okej.
So
Okay, then.
for everyone out there, we have this in multi-languages today.
Yeah, we'd have to run that through Translate or something.
They're talking about tax and staples.
All right. Dan, do you have any history with this beer?
The only history I have with this beer is selling it, a lot of it, when I was working at one of the beer stores. For some strange reason, people liked it out here, so we kept running out of it. So, other than that, I've never really picked it up. I've thought about it, but it was one of those beers where it's like, do I really want to? Is it macro for Poland? Is it, one of those things. So tonight is my very first night actually having it.
You sort of got a history. Which beer store did you work at out there?
It was one that opened for a whole year called the Beer Vault.
What part of town was that in Calgary?
The northeast, right off of Barlow and I guess near Center Street.
Okay, so not too far from. Okay, I really drove by there once. Anyway, all right. Moving along to Mr. Greg, who is probably going to say this in Polish too. But what's your history?
Tak. Wiele razy miałem to piwo. Wczesne piję to piwo. To jest bardzo dobre polskie piwo. Ja lubię.
Tak, dobrze.
Dzień dobry, kurwas.
Joanna Wanga. Solo.
Bless you.
Okay. All right. Right. Okay. So I should probably get down to some comments if we have anything at all. Anybody want to read them? There's only 2.
Yeah, I'll read them.
Right.
Lee's in the chat. Said, Jesus, didn't expect such a huge panel for this one. Cheers to Alberto Guerrero Jr.
Well,
Guerrero. And then Chris in English said French Ron Jeremy is on the panel tonight. Thank God.
I'm huge.
Is this your movie pun? That's good.
Usually.
Okay, Julie.
All right, so I guess we need a little time maybe to think about this. What we think of this beer. Let's have Chris. How you doing anyway?
Sipping.
It's muted. Damn it!
You know,
I was trying to see if we can do a conversation again. Anyway, we had 9 people watching. Nice. What are you saying?
Meats. Any movie meats.
All right. Anybody ready to give some thoughts on this thing? Ash.
Yeasty.
Jak chcę.
that is a
Vroom.
rum.
Oh, Lamborghini.
Well,
Let me go first. It's pretty simple.
yeah, go
Yeah,
for
I'll
it.
go. Yeah, I can. I'll go first.
Let's keep it in order if we can.
Yeah, throw some
Second.
text in there. Go.
Yeah, I mean, the aroma to me is very similar to most macro lagers, regardless of what country it came from. I mean, I guess it sort of does have a little bit more of a Euro macro lager type of like scent to it. I find they tend to be a little bit grassier than the North American ones, but really that's about it. Taste though, this one definitely has a little bit more of a bittering component than most macros do. Whether or not they're using hop or not, I definitely get a lot of grassy and hay notes and a little bit of like, just a general earthiness to it, but it definitely does come across a little bit more, or a little bit more bittered for a macro lager than what's normally available. There is a touch of sweetness to it that sort of if I didn't know that they, if they're true and they just say that they use 4 ingredients, there is a residual sweetness to it that sort of lends me to believe that there was some sort of like corn syrup or something added to it. But overall, I find, outside of that tinge of sweetness, it does finish pretty dry, which is, relatively nice. But I mean, for an actual macro lager, it actually has some flavor to it. So, and it's 5.5%, which I'm happy with. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward for me. I'm not. What's really nice about it though is that I'm not getting a lot of like sulfuric flavors that I tend to get off macro lagers. So that's nice. I do like that. So, from I guess for a generic macro lager, I'll give it a 7 out of 10 for style. It sort of does the trick. I'd still like a little bit more from it. But from a personal preference, if someone offered it to me, I'd drink it again happily. I would probably drink this before I drink like some of the bigger North American macro lagers. So yeah, I'll give it a 7 for personal preference as well.
All right. 7s all around. So, Redbeard, your turn. What do you think of this beer?
I really don't like this beer.
I get the feeling you didn't.
One of the worst things I've had in a while, to be honest. I don't know, like, what is it? It's a style or something. I don't know if I've had a lager from Poland before, but it's got this like almost like a sour bad cookie taste or something to it. I can't even fucking describe it. Style wise, I don't even know if it's what it's supposed to be. I'll say 6. Personal enjoyment, I'm going 2.
Ooh, holy.
Ooh,
I am not like
ooh.
Doesn't think very highly of you either.
That's okay.
Hey, we got Craig back. How live are you, Craig? I think Craig's having internet
Do a
issues.
sexy pose for us. Don't move. There, stop. There you go.
Yeah, he's got the
Look at that bicep.
the look
Greg,
like
if you can hear us,
true
show us
king
a
of beer
nipple.
too. Well, if he pops back in, we'll go back to him. Guy,
Huh?
what's your thoughts?
Okay, I have to think about it. But right. So first you get the sweet wheat. This is like wheat. Then you have a little fun, like you have a little dance. You're having fun. Starts off sweet. So you lick your pantyhose. You get the nice aftertaste. But this fucker comes along with his balls full like a powdered cardboard, and it just ruins the whole entire party. You get the weird aftertaste, but at least you get the memory of the perfume and pantyhose. So, anyways, that's pretty much what I get. It's pantyhose, citrus, nice dance, little perfume in the back. For scores, I'll just match Ashley's scores. Style 7, overall taste 7. Everybody had a dance, had the fun, but yeah, fucker came along just ruined everything.
That's the best explanation ever.
Everybody had
It's
a
like
dance.
pantyhose and balls. All
Plus,
right.
I look like a bottle with wearing like earphones.
Okay, so Craig, you there? Greg? All right, we'll move over to Chris.
All right, so enough with the Polish talk because I know you're getting all mad. So anyway, besides that, let's talk about this beer for a second. This is my Polish beer of choice. If I'm obviously Polish, as you can probably tell by my terrible Polish language that I was trying to attempt speaking. Lots of Polish beers are happening whenever we get together with the family and all that stuff because you know what? We're all Polish. We're all drinking beers, and they're not drinking fucking craft beers. They're all drinking Polish beers. So we're drinking this one all day long for me when it comes down to if there's a choice of all the Polish beers like EB, Tinsky, the Żywiec. Trying to think of other Polish beers off the top of my head, but I can't really right now. This is the one. This is the one. Yeah, this is the one I choose. It's gone a little bit worse now in style after drinking so many different types of beers now in my illustrious YouTube beer career right now that this isn't drinking as great as it used to, apparently, obviously. So with that being said, it is a lager. It's probably owned by one of the big macro companies now. Who owns this now? Is it Bev now? Or is it Heineken now? Yeah, so who knows what they've done? Maybe Heineken said, you know what, you're using yeast, but don't even fucking put it on the goddamn bottle. Who cares? It's a lager. It's refreshing, and I have to agree with I never really even thought of this until Ashley brought it up. He was talking about the bitterness at the end of it, and it does get a little bit bitter. And I'm actually surprised that it does, and it dries you out too, which is surprising for a fucking macro lager like this one to do that to you because it really, to be honest with you, when it's macro like this, it shouldn't. It should be like more refreshing. Okay, I get it. You're drying their palate. They want them to go back for more. And right now, I'm drying up right now. I'm going to take another sip in a second. But I get it. But it's not for the macro world. It really isn't. If you're a macro drinker and you're not Polish, you're not going to gravitate toward this one at all. With that being said, though, it's a lager. It's kind of went downhill from when I first had it way back in the day, like long years and years ago. For style, I'm going to bring it down from normally this. If it would have been the way I remembered it, it would have been way up there for a lager. But now, because of the way it's tasting right now for the style, I'm bringing it down to about a 5.5 for style on the lager on this one. I mean, I don't know what the fuck Heineken's done to this beer, but it is what it is. Now, going back to my history, which I was speaking in Polish, but my history.
We all understood you.
Yeah, I know you did, Greg. We in my family, like I said, we used to drink this a lot, and it's funny when Nick or who mentioned the crown on the back of the bottle, that changes color. So was that you, Redbeard? I think that might have been you.
What was that?
Huh? Oh, never mind. Anyway, the color changing thing on the back of the bottle has always been there for as long as I can remember. So I'm starting to think that. I don't know if it was this company that did it first. It's hard to find any information on this because I remember trying to look for how long or who was the first person to put a fucking color changing label on a bottle. When it goes cold, it goes to a different color. On the Żywiec bottles, from when I was tiny, it's always been there. And it hasn't always been a blue crown or whatever. It's always been some other symbol or whatever. But I'm pretty sure that this actually may be the first company to actually do it. But That's my history. Okay. Anyway, going on with my personal preference on it, it still is my favorite Polish beer. I've had all kinds of other Polish beers. It's still my favorite one. My personal enjoyment, though, it's a macro lager. Whatever. I'm gonna have to give it a 7, just like Ash.
All right. So 5.5 and 7, huh?
Yep. Thank you.
Cool. All right. Thanks for speaking English, Chris.
You're welcome. Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry?
Na zdrowie.
All right. All right. So, before Craig's internet turns into or Google Hangouts rather turns into a pumpkin after midnight, which already is after midnight. Craig, what's your thoughts on this thing?
Well, if you can hear me, then
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear you now. Yeah.
Holy fuck, what's going on? Fucking Google wankers, what the fuck?
Oh my God, Craig, talk fast. We got to hear what you have to say.
This is all right for a lager, for what it is, a Euro lager. It's okay. It's better than a few others out there, for sure. Still hear me?
Yep.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's all right. I mean, it's got a bit more kind of malt build into it. It's got a little bit more added kind of flavour just to back it up a little bit for me, for what I'm getting out of this can, 500ml can. There's a date on it. Best before the 26th of April of 2020 on the can underneath. Yeah. Being almost part of the EU, I suppose we get it fresher. I don't know, whatever. It's a lager. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot worse out there, I think. It's got a little bit more body and interest going on for me in the beer, apart from the obvious lager. It's more of a malt forward lager, I'd say, than anything else. I don't know what anyone else has said, so I probably might be repeating one or two comments, but yeah, I've not had this in the untapped kind of era since 2014, and I may have not had it before that. I don't think I have, to be honest with you. Yeah, so yeah, you've got my scores on the screen, so I'm giving it like a 5 out of 10 for both. So
5 and 5.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Personal enjoyment and the style. So 2.5 if I'm tapping or whatever. But yeah, it's all right.
Nice.
I've still got a shitload left, which is a little bit annoying because it's warmed up. But yeah,
How big of a bottle did you get?
a 500ml can.
Oh, okay. So yeah, same.
And this is actually
I'd rather drink this than fucking Heineken all day.
No.
Yeah, I'll give it that. All right.
I'd rather drink this than Carlsberg and Beck's.
Fair enough.
5.5.
I'd rather drink this than
5.6
like
on
a
the
fax or something. All right. So,
I've not had that. Anyway, it works. Cheers.
cool. All right, Dan, what's your thoughts?
Well, unfortunately, I couldn't get mine cold because I came home and pretty much it was warm in my bag. So I'm drinking this nice and warm.
Ew.
Yeah, it was right. This is something you do not want to drink piss warm.
Ew.
I like Corona tastes better than this warm.
Gross.
Honestly, it's not bad for its style. I could see it going out if you're over in Poland and having quite a few of these because, well, that's probably the best you can find over there. I don't know. I've never been over there. So if I'm insulting anyone, I'm sorry. But at the same point in time, yeah, I would rather have this cold because warm just doesn't do it at all. I would love to say that there's some good qualities to it. It's drinkable. It's 5.5. Not quite crushable for me. Otherwise, this would be gone by now. I can't get my palate to enjoy it.
Did you get a hint? Did you get a hint of horse manure? I did in the last few sips. It's kind of weird.
I got more of a yeasty sort of grassy note. So possibly
there is no yeast.
Yeah, I know there's no yeast, but If you ask me, I'm gonna say they're fucking wrong.
It's the immaculate fermentation. It just happened.
This is the Mary of all beers.
It may have happened with Guy's mustache.
Oh yeah, Guy's mustache impregnated this video before the beer before we went live.
So unfortunately,
Mustache riders are $20.
Jeez, you're cheap. Of course,
Wait,
you
you
said
got a
20
mustache ride before?
Well, it's Wednesday. Of course, I'm cheap on Wednesdays. Jesus.
I hate to see what you do for Taco Tuesdays. Anyways,
Tuesdays. Sour cream.
now for style, I can see what it is. So basically a 6 for enjoyment. I have to go with a 4. I'm not enjoying this as much as I thought I would. So basically, that's me.
You think you'd actually enjoy it a little bit more if it was actually cold?
I probably would. I think I really probably would. I think this would be one of the ones that you have to have cold and you have to drink fast before it warms up.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's warming up.
It's still pretty tasty for me, even though it's warmed up a bit.
But you like your warm beers over there. I mean, come on.
Not lagers. No,
That's true.
not right. No, it depends what it is. If you're talking cask, then yeah. But
Yeah, this I just no. You don't have it warm. Have it cold.
All right. So, and last but definitely least, we got Greg, Mr. Pollock, or yeah, Greg.
Nick.
What do you think?
Nick, I just want to take this opportunity for the last time on Google Hangouts to say F you, Nick.
Good.
And also
Get
that
cleared up.
you can't see. I'm wearing my albino rhino sex fest shirt, but you can't see. So you'll just have to trust me in that I'm not.
You had like a lighter or something you lit up, and you're.
I do have a light
set
here,
your,
but
set your shirt on fire.
why would I do that? It's a beautiful shirt, Nick.
you've got that shirt on, and we can't
there we
see.
go.
So...
I wasn't using the flashlight correctly.
good.
There we go.
So we get the Sex Fest.
Albino Rhino Sex Fest. So here, I'll put this so you can actually
Get
see
the
me.
Sex Fest shirt on one last time before Hangouts goes offline.
Hey guys. So I'm not speaking Polish anymore. I know you could understand me before. So Żywiec.
I can totally understand you. It was great, Greg. Thanks.
I know, I don't get these guys. But anyways, so I've had this beer many times. I probably had this beer since I was underage, because this is something that every Polish person has in their house. Even if they don't drink, they just have some of this in their cupboard somewhere. It definitely varies batch by batch. I looked at some of my Untappd ratings. I've given this a 2 out of 5. I've given this a 3.5 out of 5. So it definitely varies. If I'm rating it sort of a macro beer, it's better than most North American macros. If I'm rating it sort of against Europeans, it's in the middle. It's not great, but it's better than some, not as good as others. So I'm just gonna stop jacking around the bush and just say this is a 7. It's solid for the style, but there's better. And I don't even know what style we're rating this on, to be honest. So I'm gonna rate it as an IPA, because why not? And as a beer, certainly not the best bottle I've had. It's not awful. I did have it in my craft beer fridge, so it's a little warmer than would be ideal. This would be best, and it's ice cold, like every lager would be better. I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. I'd say probably better bottles I've had of this, or cans. I'd probably go in the 7. Might be generous, give it 7.5. Probably not. So it's decent. I enjoy it. I can drink it. I will probably drink it like 100,000 more times before I die, because I'm Polish and I go to Polish people's houses. It's not the best Polish beer. I think Zabra is the one I like. I think that's the one with the bison on it. I think that's the one that's probably my favorite. But it's been a while since I've done a Polish beer taste test, so look forward to that on the Beer Burglar channel one day, maybe. So cheers to the final Google Hangouts. Cheers. I'm sad that Nick's dying, but we'll get over it.
Nick, install the hot tub at home.
God damn it. So, Greg, you said it was 6 for the style. What was your overall?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, sorry. I said 7 for the style, and I'm going to give a 6.5 overall for my overall enjoyment.
Okay. So
also, I just want to make a point, Chris, that the prophecy says it has to be your hot tub. So don't try to shirk your responsibilities.
Oh, I can't wait until I put a fucking an enclosure around the hot tub here.
None of us can wait.
All right.
And his bloated corpse.
Speaking of nobody waiting, let's get into my thoughts on this thing. Fuck you, Etobicoke.
Nobody cares if you're.
All right, we're done here. No. All right, so my thoughts on this. It's okay. It drinks like somebody had said. I think it might have been Ashley Sexton said that it's a bit heavier in body. Yes, it's got a much fuller body. It's a bit maltier. I do get that big grassiness, and it's actually quite bitter considering what it is. But I do find that this thing is drinking a lot more biscuity in the back with like a molasses cookie kind of thing. This really in the back end tastes a lot like a malt liquor, like an old English a little bit. Like maybe not so cloyingly sweet, but at the same time. It's a very strong. You could tell this is like a little heavier than a typical 5.0%. Where it's 5.5%, you can really tell that. It does remind me of drinking. I'd rather drink this than a Fax, but it does remind me of like not the Fax 10, but like the lighter ones, like the Fax Premium or the Fax Bock or something.
Fax 8.
Yeah,
the fuck it is.
Fax 7.1. Almost reminds me like Crest Super or something like this. As it warms up, this is starting to taste terrible. But when it was cold, it was actually not bad. I'm not a big fan of it, but I think when it comes to something that calls itself like a European pale lager, the 6.5, it really does not match the style, but it's okay. And overall enjoyment, I'm giving it a 6, which is probably a little bit more to the pass or more than maybe it really deserves, especially after I'm drinking this as a warm set. But I did enjoy doing the story and reading the story on this. It's actually kind of cool to read it.
Polish, but whatever.
Yeah, and all the Polish. I really wanted to do a Polish beer on Beer Analysis 101 at least one
I think
time.
I asked you that like 2 years ago, but whatever.
Yeah, something like that. I think we've been trying to do that for a while, especially after the Lek review that we did at Chad's place.
Oh yeah, Lek.
I do have a can of Lek that we can do at some point, but we need to figure out how things go for. I'm assuming StreamYard's probably going to be using next, but
I also need to send this shit to you, Nick.
yeah, because there's more Polish stuff in there. I think there's we drank the Okocim. And there's I think there's a Tatra in there.
Okocham, there's Tatra, there's Tinsky, and there's EB.
I think there's a Tiski in that
Tiski,
box.
Tiski Gorny.
It's gonna be exciting, Nick. You're gonna do an unboxing of shit you bought yourself.
Yeah, 2 months after, so I don't remember what I bought. I know that there's like a Bud Czechvar Dark there.
Probably.
Budweiser, but just
Okay, let's end this. I want to fucking drink my goddamn.
All right.
Fucking
I got like a 4-pack. I got a 4-pack of brewed IPAs from Garrison I want to drink. So,
Wow.
I got to do the math. Any more comments there, Mr. Ash?
Yes, there was a wall of comments. I'm going to read them all off, every single word of them. So
Do it, Ash.
Do it.
So hold on to
No.
your pants. Nathan Boham is in the chat. He's like, Guy's mustache is hot, said Awkward Victoria. And then Eric Gilbert's in the chat. Hello, Eric. He's like, cheers, fools. Don't drink this. Down with the Reds. Down with the Reds. And then he says, Żywiec, or however you want to pronounce it, replaced MGE for sure. I'm sorry, Chris. What was that?
Żywiec.
Paul from PA Brew News. He must be hard at work. He's like, good brew. The cans were a bit better than the bottles. And
I would imagine they would be.
I don't know why, but sure, why not? Eric says, I can see the fields of commie corn right now.
Copyright music.
With a bunch of motorcycles.
Wow.
With drum kits on them?
And then from Basement Broham, another actual quote. This one from Aquaman.
Wow.
His mustache gets me wet.
Wow. How did he get Aquaman to give him a quote?
Right?
Get wetter.
And Lee from the from his new reviews. I'm sorry, Lee, I can't remember what they're called.
High tide imbibe.
Yeah, there we go. How many
Yeah.
Polacks do you need to speak the language correctly? Trick question. They are all too fucking dumb to speak their own language.
I
Oh.
just want to point out that the term Polak is a racist term. Not shocking that Nick would have racism on his channel. on his last show.
Way to be racistly.
And I can't emulate it, but whackity schmackity do.
Whackity schmackity do.
And Basement Broham again. This one is from an amateur paleontologist.
Anonymous, yeah.
What did I say?
Amateur.
Whatever. Anonymous paleontologist.
How high are you?
His mustache gives me a bone.
Wow.
Ooh.
Hopefully it's a good bone.
And Eric Gilbert says, I can't knock Polacks. They're great free labor. And,
Oh, fuck you. Oh, my God, that was bad.
Guy was echoing his sentiment from his review that he's tasting horse manure right now. Frank Tiskey says, this beer sucks. Another quote from Basement Broham. He's got like this pocketbook full of quotes.
Master Polish brewery.
Eric just confirming what we all knew ahead is that he likes manure in his scotch.
All right.
All right, fuck this. I'm getting a beer.
Broham says, if there was a famous Caterpillar porn star, that Caterpillar would have a dick that looked like Guy's mustache.
Guy left before you read that comment.
There you go, Guy. You got a porn star Caterpillar.
He's getting a Caterpillar dick. You're a mustache.
Oh God,
so he comes
Eric,
back before this is over.
Eric Gilbert, I getting a little black ice and strong shrooms burp funk off the back end.
Is he actually drinking one of these beers, Eric?
Yeah, I get the ice beer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do get that.
Or not? Or are you just fucking with us? Because I don't know.
And then he asks the illustrious question: what is next week's beer?
Next week's beer is there is no next week's beer because we're taking a week off, summer vacation, I guess. But we will be back on August 14th for the 1 year, the two year. I forgot the bottle. It's over the cellar.
Well, go get it.
All right,
already finally
here. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go grab the bottle, and I'll display the shit. Where is it? The scores, and I'll present it. Everybody talk amongst themselves and bitch about how that's a shitty score.
All right, so the ratings, so the final scores for Żywiec, we're looking at for style is 6.25, and overall we got a 5.26. And Redbeard is just yawning like a motherfucker. Who's so quiet over there. I think Redbeard needs.
Yeah, he's got to work soon. He's got to work.
I think Redbeard. And you're also muted right now, by the way, and you also need to have some coffee.
Yeah. Can't hear him.
Well, hello.
I hate coffee. I'm tired. This beer ruined my life, and I have to work in half an hour. God damn it.
This beer ruined your life.
This beer's not
Redbeard had to get up before 12 today.
Hey, Carrie, do you have a big job to do tonight, or is it a quick local one?
It's local, but it's a big
quick local job.
It's a big, quick local one.
Are you using both hands or just one hand for this?
I'll be working until about 4 a.m.
Fine, you fuck. All right, so now that we've gone over the scores, and I hope everybody liked the answers that we gave. Next week's beer is, or not next week's beer. 2
I
weeks
never
from now,
liked the answers we gave. What the fuck?
The fuck?
the beer for 2 weeks from now
Woo!
is the
Finally,
second anniversary
Finally.
Thomas Hardy's.
Aged as
And
fuck.
yes, my serial number ends in 101.
Yeah.
Nice.
So perfect for Beer Analysis 101.
It was
That
two
wasn't even
more.
And
That's
I got a bottle of it to send over to Lee. So
I wasn't even on purpose.
Is that the is that the 50th anniversary one you got?
I don't think so.
whatever
This is vintage 2017,
Oh, okay.
but it doesn't matter to me really.
I literally
Get
bought.
the 50th anniversary. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I literally bought that in March of this year. That's they aged it for a year and a half before they sold it to us.
Was it March or was it even earlier? It felt like it was January or February.
Yeah,
and
it was
rushed to your
early in
hands
this
for
year,
sale.
but it was in 2019.
Gotcha.
Right. At least my
All right, that's it. We're done.
All right.
Yes, thank God, Craig.
All
Yes,
right.
follow.
So, is there any more? Are we done with the comments, or
And then Eric Gilbert was just fucking with gas, so I guess he wasn't drinking this beer. And then he said "fucking A," so he's expanding his vocabulary. And
Don't forget Greg's comment there. It's an actual good comment.
oh, I'm sorry. I think Nick should take his shirt off for the for this final episode.
Yeah, come on, Nick.
Take it off. Take
Tits
it
out for Harambe.
Take it offline. Take it offline.
Penis.
Take it offline.
all right? Well, here I'll start. All
Tits out for
Is it-
Harambe.
right. Let me take my shirt off. Just gonna.